There are honestly more biopics than I remember. I'm sure we've all seen at least one, and since Michael came out and has gotten some pretty positive responses, I've decided to do a review of some of the most popular and iconic biopics. We're gonna do Elvis, Michael, Straight Outta Compton, and Bohemian Rhapsody. I almost forgot the name of that one. I'll also do a ranking at the end, so stay tuned. Okay, so if you're wondering why I've been gone for a billion years, I had school, pretty much it. Anyway, back to what the video is actually about. The reason biopics have been getting made so often and why they are so popular, in my opinion, is because of the Straight Outta Compton movie. The Straight Outta Compton movie came out in 2015, which makes it the oldest one that we'll be covering in this video. And it was literally made because Dr. Dre and Ice Cube wanted to tell their story, or they wanted some money or something. I don't know them. Anyway, the movie came out and it was a pretty big success. In fact, all of the movies that I'm talking about today were successes. But it led to the creation of Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man. Comment down below if you want me to do a part 2, because there are a whole bunch of other biopics that I could be talking about. Before I talk about any movie in particular, I'd like to set some guidelines for what I think makes a good biopic. So it goes casting, unbiased accuracy, how it chooses what to show and what not to show, and also whether or not it works as a movie in general, whether or not it's real, how does it work as a movie, and does it fit the movie format? Because why make it a movie if it might be better presented as a documentary? Also, comment below if you'd want me to make a video about music documentaries. Anyway, let's get to the first video. I mean movie. Bohemian Rhapsody was a fun watch, but the pacing really slowed down at the end. The movie also isn't my favorite to look at. Not that it looks bad, but it looks very mediocre and basic. However, they did a great job with the costuming. I really feel like I'm looking at some stinky British white men. I don't know much about Queen as a band, but I mean, I've heard they made it pretty accurate. What do you want me to do, like research? Okay.
Hello and welcome, history buffs. My name is Nick Hodges, and it's been a while since I've done a musical biopic.
Okay, so based on my hearty, thorough research that I just got done doing, the movie does a good job of taking things that might have happened at multiple different times and putting it all into one cohesive story. And I really appreciate that, not getting into the nitty-gritty details of everything. It just keeps the pace up a lot. In terms of casting, they did great. Look at this guy, and then look at this guy. That's the same guy. They all look and act like their real-life counterparts, as far as I know. And also the accuracy of the set design. Okay, so in real life, the Live Aid tour that they were doing had a Pepsi sponsorship, I think. And so in the movie, you see Pepsi all over the Live Aid concert. It's on the stage, it's on the piano, it's everywhere. I really appreciate the accuracy, especially of the performances and the music videos and stuff. They really recreated that pretty well. I do wish it showed more of the bandmates, although I understand why they didn't. It's a movie about Freddie Mercury in specific, rather than it being really about Queen, which is okay, but I would have liked to see the band's stories as well, not just Freddie Mercury's. Although they probably did it that way because it was less interesting. Also, I wish it showed more of the business side of things. It touches on it, but not enough in my opinion. Early in their career, they were getting monetarily screwed over, and I kind of wish that they talked about that. I also wish at the beginning there was more of a struggle to succeed. It took them years to actually become successful. In the movie, it makes it kind of feel like it was over the course of a few months that the band got together that they really started succeeding, which obviously isn't true. However, the writing was really good. They make Freddie so understandable but also flawed, so then at the end, whenever he succeeds at the Live Aid concert and he finally gets the things that he wanted by being happy and being truthful to himself and not being lost like he was earlier in the movie, you feel for him. But yeah, it's genuinely heartwarming, and then at the end it tells you that he dies, and I like how they handled the ending because I personally don't like sad stories, so the fact that they made the ending so hopeful and heartwarming, even though he still dies at the end, I honestly like that a lot more than some of these other movies and how they handle death. I also loved seeing the band actually make music in the studio, just watching their creativity kind of burst off the walls as they're coming up with ideas and just experimenting and doing a lot of stuff. Good band, good movie, good music, It was really fun to watch. 7 out of 10.
Straight Outta Compton, crazy mother named Ice Cube.
Straight Outta Compton was the only movie that I'd seen before writing this video. I actually have the movie on Blu-ray. This movie, alongside Bohemian Rhapsody, like they're the only ones that I know that follow the story of a band instead of just one singular person. It's also strange how similar Queen and NWA were, like according to each of these movies. What I think Straight Outta Compton does better though, is show the business side of things. To be fair, that's integral to telling the story of NWA. It's a lot less important in the story of Queen. However, what they do take away in Straight Outta Compton is the scenes of them messing around in the studio. They have a few scenes where they're in the studio, but it's not enough in my opinion. I do like the scene where they make F the Police. You really get the sense that the world around them influences the music they make. They take the outside world, put it on a record. However, the biggest problem with this movie is that it is very inaccurate because it was made by the people that the story is about. So it's very biased, and there's a lot of scenes that just didn't happen in real life. So you just randomly in the middle of the movie, you just get mandatory glaze scenes, and they're just scattered throughout the movie. Like this scene where Dr. Dre is just like being tough in the studio, that didn't happen. This scene where Eazy-E gets beat up, that did not happen. I feel like by the end, the inclusion of people like Snoop Dogg and Tupac was kind of ham-fisted and didn't really need to be there. It kind of just felt like they were there for fan service. Snoop Dogg I do think is more important than Tupac in this story, but you get my point. The presentation of this movie, like the visuals, are pretty mediocre as well. However, the casting in this movie, downright amazing. The actors did an amazing job. This scene right here, bro? Okay, side tangent. Putting the tablet down. Whenever I was little, my dad bought the movie on Blu-ray. That's the Blu-ray that's down there. He was watching it, and I woke up in the middle of the night to that scene playing, and I was like, what the heck? And that was like, I don't know, child me couldn't wrap my head around the fact that someone could be told that they're gonna die, and they just have to deal with that. Anyway, back to the casting. Everybody talks about how Ice Cube's son looks exactly like him. I disagree, but I do think he plays the part really well. Like, in terms of acting, that seems like Ice Cube. Anyway, the writing in this movie, for the most part, is really good. There's a lot of really funny scenes, and there's very emotional scenes as well. I personally just can't get past the inaccuracies. They make Dr. Dre out to be like this like tough guy that can do no wrong, when that's just like completely inaccurate. That's just not true. He's like low-key not a good person. It's very biased writing-wise, and really isn't that accurate, but overall, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 because it's a really entertaining and emotional movie.
Lord have mercy.
Okay, Elvis. This had the best movie I think I've seen This movie had, voice crack. This movie I think had the best editing out of any movie I've ever seen ever. The beginning especially blitzes by so fast. The presentation was on another level. I think this movie has easily the most style, as well as like the most complex writing out of any of them. It touches on so many aspects of Elvis's life. I felt like I was immersed the entire way through. It's also very unbiased. It doesn't tell you how to feel about anything. It just presents these things that actually happened to you, and it lets you come to your own conclusion on what these people are like, you know, how these people are. For example, it shows Elvis do bad things, but also have bad things done to him. It shows him do good things. He is a good person towards most people, but he definitely has flaws. And unfortunately, those flaws don't have a chance to get fixed in this one, unlike Bohemian Rhapsody. And that's one thing I didn't really like about this movie, was how slow the last half of it was. The last half dragged on for a minute because it takes place in the same spot the entire last half of the movie, and the movie's 3 hours. You have like 90 minutes of this one guy being in this one place, and it's not entertaining. Like, I can't lie, I was falling asleep. Granted, it was like 2 in the morning. That definitely has something to do with it. So many things happen in the first half that the second half being so slow, like it feels even slower because the first part was so fast. And the first part was actually really fun, and I think that's kind of the point of it too, is like, oh, well, his life started off really good, really fast going, and then it slowed down and he was in the same spot. So his life probably felt the way I did last night watching this movie. The ending is also really sad, which, I mean, the story of Elvis is sad. Like I said, I don't really like sad movies, so it wasn't the best, you know? It's just like one thing I didn't like was the ending. Even though it's not that bad, it's just something I didn't really appreciate as much as I'm sure other people did. What I did appreciate, however, was the song choice. Everything that I saw about this movie whenever it was coming out was that the song choice was terrible and that they had Doja Cat playing, which I'll be honest, sounded bad. I'm surprised it wasn't. Let me explain myself, because I know some people think I'm like insane for thinking having Doja Cat in the Elvis movie was good. Let me explain. I think what it was trying to do was bring you into the mindset of people from the 50s. Basically, the way we see hip-hop is how the characters in this movie see rock and roll. And so whenever you see Hound Dog get played, you feel the emotions of it from the 50s version, and then it transitions into the Doja Cat version, and you understand how they're feeling about the music at that time. For example, like my girlfriend didn't know what the song was, and then the Doja Cat version started playing and she was like singing the lyrics along with it. It appeals to a modern audience, and it's trying to communicate a feeling that people in the 50s had by bringing in modern music, which I think is smart. Overall, this movie was great, had great writing, amazing atmosphere, perfect editing, might I say. The visuals were amazing. They made Elvis' story both accurate and super entertaining. 9 out of 10. Last, but certainly not least, Michael. I think Michael had the best song placement out of any of these songs. Like, every time they brought up a new song, it had me smiling ear to ear, bro. I'm about to hee all over the subscribe button. I wish I had more scenes in the studio with Quincy Jones. Like, you could make a movie out of the stuff that happened in the studio, and they had like barely any of it. Quincy Jones was barely in the movie. The movie looks really good. I'd say it's like below Elvis in terms of visuals, but definitely above Straight Outta Compton. Maybe even with Bohemian Rhapsody in terms of visuals. I wish it showed more of like Michael's choices in like fashion. What was written well was Michael's father. Joseph Jackson is a villain in this movie. Immediately not likable in the slightest. Michael's relationship with his mother I think was handled pretty well. His siblings, however, I don't think they were in the movie enough. Also, they only show like the Jackson 5. They don't show any of the other siblings. There were like 11 entire kids in that family, and they're only showing like half of that. Obviously, Jafar Jackson's acting was amazing. He basically became his uncle for this movie. I loved seeing Michael's inspirations on TV and in other people's music. I like how he danced in front of the TV, you know? I really appreciated the pacing and the handling of the ending. Like, the movie really breezes by without you even noticing. I really felt like the movie was just getting started, and I need a sequel. Like, unlike some people, I understand why they stopped where they did, because I mean, that's like a complete story right there. Like, you could stop right there, that's a complete story, it's a good movie. But I kind of want to see the last half, you know? Like, I also understand leaving like the last half of his career, which was arguably more controversial, out of the picture, and just out of the entire movie in general. The movie does feel a little biased, because it's kind of like a love letter to Michael instead of just talking about Michael as a person. You don't really notice any of his flaws other than body dysmorphia, when you could have talked about his relationship with like reality compared to other people. Where I saw a thing where he was called in to do the Men in Black movie. I think it was like Men in Black 3 where he cameoed in it, and he kept saying like weird stuff, and the director was just like, I don't think that guy lives in reality. But you don't get any of that in the movie. You also have zero Paul McCartney. I think it's Paul McCartney. Anyway, one of the Beatles are in Michael's life at this point in time, and you just don't see any of that. Like, bro, he's in the album. Why is he not in the movie? He's like a big part of like Michael's marketing for Thriller, and he's just not in it at all. But then again, it is a more controversial part of Michael, and more flawed part of Michael, because he ended up buying the rights to the Beatles. So, I mean, portraying Michael in a bad way in this movie just wasn't gonna happen. But overall, the movie was really enjoyable. It was probably the most enjoyable in this entire list. I had a big old smile on my face the entire time. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to rank them. Boom. It's right there. Honestly, after seeing Michael, I fully expected it to win, but Elvis definitely is better. I couldn't help but love it the moment I saw it. Let me know if you agree with my list. Let me know if you want me to do a part 2. We are on the tip of the iceberg when it comes to music biopics. And remember, a day without laughter is a day wasted.